the Sabbath has been kept by the Jews throughout the century. If you want to find out which is the seventh-day Sabbath, ask a Jew and check a Jewish calendar. You will find that their Sabbath, their Saturday is the same like our Saturday. What does it mean? It means that there has been no interruption. There was a change in the calendar at the time, what was it, in 1511, when Gregory added 10 days because we did not have an accurate solar cycle. We were short every year, a few hours, and over a period of time, a discrepancy had occurred. But the interesting thing, number one, is that the cycle of 7 days cannot be explained astronomically, agriculturally. There is nothing in nature that is built on the pattern of 7. The lunation, the lunar cycle is 29 days, which is not divisible for 7. So 7 is built into this cosmos, even in our human body. There is a study, what do they call it? Circadian research, which shows even our human body is built on 7 and what shall I call it, cycles of 7. A women period usually is 28 days. Are you with me? And the change of the cells of our body is every 7 years. And during the French Russian Revolution, they tried to change the 7-day week to 10-day week. After 3 months, they had to go back to the 7-day week because they found that people and machines were breaking down. So as far as the continuity of the number of the 7th day, there is no problem because we have today, we can go around the world. The 7-day week has been adopted by many nations. I was in Ethiopia for 5 years. They adopted Christianity very early. In fact, the Abyssinian church still respected and observed the Sabbath. They were isolated from the rest of the world for over 1,000 years. During, they call it the splendid isolation when the Arabs occupied all the coastline. And you check with them, which is their Sabbath, which is our Sabbath, is the same. In other words, sister, Fred, if you were to find a nation with a 7-day weekly cycle, which cannot correspond to our Western 7-day cycle, then I think we have a legitimate question to ask. How is it that these people have the Sabbath on a different day of the week? Are you with me? But you will find that there is a perfect unanimity. You can go around the world, check all the calendar, the 7-day Sabbath in England, the same in America, it's the same in Singapore, Hong Kong, China, you name it. And I think the most clear, compelling proof that no change has ever taken place in the weekly cycle is the existence of the Jews. The Jews have been persecuted, repressed, but they always survived through the century. And Paul says to the Jews were entrusted the oracles of God. And I think one of the things that we can learn from the Jews is to see that God's holy 7-day Sabbath has never been changed because they were the priest. He came twice a week to public school to teach us il Catechismo Cattolico, the Catholic Catechism. When he heard that I was a known Catholic, Protestant, Adventist, he told the whole class, San Bacchiochi sitting there in the back, he's a heretical Protestant, keep away from him, keep away from him. And that's exactly what they did. That's why I remember it so well. I was a teenager. I wanted to be accepted by my friends. And whenever I approached them to talk to them, you know what they would say? Stai lontano, stai lontano. Keep away from us, keep away from us. You are a Jew, you are a heretic. We don't want to talk with you. That hurted me. I remember going home in tears many times. Telling Mama, Papa, please don't send me to school anymore. Everybody hates me at school. And my godly father would look me straight into my eyes and say, Samuel, you stand up for what you know to be God's truth. God will honor your commitment. And because of all of these problems, I started dreaming. Would you believe? I was only 14, 15 years of age. When I started dreaming that someday, by God's grace, I wanted to investigate which is God's holy day, what it should mean for Christian life today. I wanted to be sure that I was suffering for the sake of biblical truth, not the denominational tradition. And my dream came true on July 1977, when I stood inside the Vatican, watching my doctoral dissertation from Sabbath to Sunday, rolling off the Vatican press with a go ahead.
My name's Paula, I'm from Cornerstone Church as well. As a young teenager at school, being rejected the way you were and stuff, just for encouragement for other people here, just sort of elaborate a little bit more how you were able to kind of get through that and hold on to your faith. Because at 15, a teenager myself, you know, I kind of left the church and stuff, and just sort of explain a little bit more
Thank you
how
very
you were able
much.
to get through that.
I can assure you that it was very testing for me, you know, to go to school and look at my classmates, knowing that any attempt I would make to come close to them, to strike conversation would be rejected. That was very, very painful. I went through 3 years there in public school. Then I told my parents, please send me to an Adventist school, and I went to Florence, you know, to our academy there. I always try to be nice to my classmates. I tell you what, some of them became interested in my faith, while the vast majority were influenced by the priest, because the priest told them to stay away from me. But there were those, you know, some young people sometimes are open-minded. So tell us, what do you really believe? And I was able to bring some of them to church sometime. And we had a good interaction. You know, what helped me out a lot was the family support structure. When you have a father and a mother who believe in you, who make you feel that your suffering is not in vain, God will acknowledge you. God will reward you. Don't give up. Stand up and be counted. And I think this is what we need to teach our young people. We live in a society where we always want to be accepted. I think what is the challenge today is to help our young people and older people to retain their sense of identity, their sense of mission. It was painful, no question about it, but I learned to live with it. I recognized that some of these classmates were hostile toward me, not because they have hate, but because they have been brainwashed. And so my only approach was to be nice to them, and I accepted whatever, what shall I say, reproach I was facing as part of bearing the cross of Christ that Christ has called us to bear. Thank you very much, sister. Anyone else?